Gün dolandı dağı taşı, dinmiyor gözümün yaşı. Ah, gelin eyle, tez günde ayırdı felek. Eyle suna, gelin eyle.
So when you see the B was the emblem of the Naswt Biti. The word Biti comes from the word beat. It means be. It means he was a leader of an industrious nation, not a leader of people claiming to be victims, not a leader of procrastinators, of an industrious nation. Bees are busy with the work of producing honey. Honey is a golden nectar, I like to say nectar, a divine substance. We're talking alchemy when you're talking about creating honey. Bees produce a divine substance. And that divine substance is powerful because it's filled with antioxidants, living minerals, vitamins, amino acids, enzymes, and is beneficial for all who partake of it. Of course, if you're allergic. So Kemet was a nation that was busy with the work of producing an enlightened society. And the Maadic philosophy was the honey. And the Maadic philosophy is powerful because it's filled with powerful wisdom teachings, rituals, and ceremonies that's beneficial for all who partake of them. Unless, of course, you're allergic. For instance, talk about the importance of prayer in the conscious community and see the reaction. Prayer. Gotta pray. Tell them that they have to meditate. Then all of a sudden meditation becomes an Asian thing, all right? Tell them about coming to temple service. That's like church. What about rituals? Ain't that voodoo? They get scared. This is in the conscious community. Those things that I mentioned are 80% of what it means to be Kemetic. I'll say 90% of what it means to be Kemetic. Those things are the glue that kept our people's society together. It kept all people working towards one goal, which was to magnify God and not self. And there's nothing wrong with self, but there's something wrong with self when you want to be different just to be different with no divine purpose at all. So I challenge you to go to any text and try to find me a Kemetic text where a person didn't pray, didn't meditate, didn't participate in temple service, didn't participate in rituals. You can't find it. But you'll find that today, you'll find a whole bunch of Kemites that don't do any of those things and claim that they're just as Kemetic or even more Kemetic than you. And they'll even swear that you got tricked again back into religiosity in the sheep syndrome, right? The problem with our people is we've been influenced by Western civilization and Western culture, and we lost sight. When you have the word Maat, the root to the word Maat is Ma'ah. It's a sickle and two eyes. It's the sickle to cut through the illusion of the third dimension and see the interconnection of all things. To cut through the illusion. If you look at the word from the Hindu tradition, Maya, it means world illusion, the illusion in the world. So it's this similar connection. So by being in this Western civilization, this Western culture, we've been influenced and we lost sight of the interconnection of things. We become a nation of individuals. And as a nation of individuals, we are now mourning. We're mourning the death of our group consciousness instinct. Listen to me when I speak, or listen to any teacher or presenter when they get up here and speak. They're talking about our ancestors built temples, our ancestors built pyramids, right? We did this, we did that, we've accomplished this, we used to do that, everybody got everything from us, right? Those are all signs of mourning. It's like losing a grandparent or a good friend, how things used to be better back then when my people was around. Remember that? That's what we're going through now. We're mourning the death of our group consciousness instinct. When we talk about our legacy, some of our greatest achievements come when we were under the group consciousness instinct. And all the pain, the suffering, the loneliness, the longing comes from our preoccupation with our so-called independence. If you understand the theory of health in the human body has blood cells. And your blood cells, or the cells, every cell in your body work in tandem with one another. So it is a group consciousness that's going on in your body that's keeping you alive and well as an individual. But sometimes living an unwholesome lifestyle creates what you call free radicals in the body. Yeah, I think they explain it. It's a cell that's missing an ion. And free radicals get together with other free radicals and they tend to wreak havoc upon the vital organs of the body, eventually causing sickness, disease, and ultimately death. The same thing happens metaphysically in our community. We are cells. We are selves. A community of selves. So when we live an unwholesome lifestyle, meaning being influenced and exposed to Western civilization and culture, Willie Lynchism, all types of bad mental and spiritual, metaphysical diet, some of us feel the urge to break off and become a radical. And we spout the platitudes of free thinking, so technically we become free radicals. And we think we want to fight the power and catch on to the vital organs of the powers that be and destroy it and cause its eventual sickness, disease, and ultimately death, right? But there's a problem. Free radicals are natural. The body has a self-check mechanism, but when those free radicals go unchecked, it becomes a problem. It then triggers an autoimmune response when all the cells, when the body attacks itself. So in that note, the free radical is a cell that lost its frequency. Look at the word frequency and frequency. Frequency is a resonance and frequency is to visit, come back. So it's lost its ability to come back home and join the group. Resonance. It lost its resonance ability to stay home. It has no home again. Isn't that what happens with radicals? They come to the temple, we got our culture back, we got the gods back, we got the ancestors back. Nah. I don't want to pray. I don't want to meditate, man. We got to fight, man. That's what happens to the free radicals. It lost its resonance with the selves, lost its resonance with the cells, lost its frequency. It's not able to come back. So we've started a movement of wanting everybody to become free radicals. Don't join no group. The group think all of a sudden became evil. When we've done all the best things that we've done as a nation under group think. So us on this free radical movement, now we're responsible for the destruction of our own culture. So now back to the cross-cultural connection. When you're speaking about the Jews, Hindus, and the Muslims, and any other ethnicity. In their community, when they gather at least 12 men, they create something called a minyan, 12 men. And then they're charged inside their tradition to then create a temple. Just 12 people. You got 12 people, you have to create a temple. And not only that, everybody has to live within 2 miles of the temple. Because they believe on the Sabbath you have to go to the temple. And it has to be, because they believe that driving and turning on light switches is work. So you're not supposed, walking 2 miles is work. You burning calories, and you're worried about a light switch, but you burning like the 500 calories trying to make it. But hey, they got to make it work. So everybody has to live within 2 miles, so there's none of this out of town traveling to come to the temple. And if you live 5 miles, I guess you got that much more to walk. So what happens to the people that live 5 miles away? They got to develop their own minyan, and then they got to create their temple. So now you got, within a 5 mile radius, you got 5 or 10 temples with hundreds of Jews coming to all of them. You see how that's ingenious? That's how they blow up as a community. But check it out. None of that's in the Bible. None of that's in the Pentateuch. None of it's in the Torah. None of it's in the Tanakh, whatever name they want to call it. But they've learned this wise lesson that you have to adapt or you will die. Times are changing, you have to change with the times. You heard that before, right? But you don't have to change with the times. You have to adapt, but still keep your integrity. That's what they figured out by creating these commentaries on how to keep their integrity as so-called Jews. Then they go on and the women commit to being homemakers and the men commit to being teachers, priests, and educators. And I know someone's like, hold up, that doesn't sound fair for the women. They got to do all the work and the men. That's just She kept it all the way real. She ain't never said nothing more real than that in her life. But I would say I understand the point, but the point is not that. The point is not that's what we're going to do and mimic them on every level. The point is, people, you have to have a code.